Hello there. So when the book of First Chronicles was written, the people of Israel had just come back from the captivity in Babylon, or around that time period. Basically, it was written by the priests. So all of Chronicles was written as a history of the Jewish people to remind them of where God had brought them from Adam to Abraham, through all of that, through Samuel and Saul and David and all the good kings of Judah. None of the kings of Israel are mentioned. It's all the line of Judah in Chronicles, 1st and 2nd Chronicles. Remember, it's just one book. They split into two to make it easier. So anyway, the first chapter is the genealogy from Adam to Abraham. You have all those descendants listed. And then chapter 2 is the descendants from Abraham and Judah, descendants of Abraham. Then the line of Judah to David. Then you have all of those descendants. The royal line of David in chapter 3 being from the house of Jesse. And of course, he is again related to Ruth, going all the way back to Rahab. And everything is the line of Jesus. Jesus has a lot of people in his family tree, including a couple harlots and some adulteresses. It's interesting how he's like, I can use everybody. They were something, but now they are mine. That's how it is with God. When he calls you unto himself, what you were is not important anymore. Now it's who you are in him. It's kind of cool. 2nd Chronicles 4 through 8 is all about the tribes of Israel and their descendants, Simeon, Levi, all of that. Chapter 9, leaders in Jerusalem, coming from the return of exiles. This is where this is all the people coming back to Jerusalem that were in exile after the 70-year captivity in Babylon that was prophesied, was told to them that would happen, and that got fulfilled. So all of these things that were scripturally fulfilled. Chapter 10 is the death of Saul. So they don't even go into any of the stuff about Saul and his falling away from God or anything. It just talks about his death right there in chapter 10. And then chapter 11, David's reign, the mighty men, all of that. Chapter 12, David's army, his loyal soldiers. Chapter 13, bringing the Ark of the Covenant into Jerusalem. Of course, that was the death of Uzzah, still mentioned in there, where he failed to do it correctly the first time. At any rate, chapter 14, David's throne is secured in Jerusalem, the royal palace, victory over the Philistines several times. Chapter 15, the ark is correctly brought into Jerusalem the right way this time with the Levites, the way God intended for it to be done, keeping things holy as God said to do, because he is holy and he expects us to be holy as well as his followers, as his servants, as his children, which is, what you would expect children to be obedient to their fathers as long as their parents are loving and all that. We have the God of ultimate love, the ultimate God of righteousness, of justice, of peace, of holiness, and that's the God we follow in the Christian world that we live in. Obviously, we have to continue praying that he will continue to touch our hearts and show us how to be loving to people, especially this time of year. The holidays, we're going to see a lot of people that are in need, but also a lot of people that don't follow him, and that's okay. We got to love them into the kingdom of heaven. We'll get into chapter 16 later. God bless. Keep up with the word of truth.